Hey guys, so this is gonna be a video on how to effectively deal damage as an Affliction Warlock in PvP. And a couple things I'm just gonna go over are firstly the spells we use for dealing damage. Secondly, I'm gonna show you the rotation, and then I'm gonna show that in a arena game as well, so you can get an idea for how to see it in real time, in practice. Okay, so first of all, the main three abilities you have for dealing damage are Unstable Affliction, the biggest dart right here. Does a lot of damage when it gets dispelled as well. Second dot is Corruption, which is baseline, and also slows them with the legendary. And thirdly, we have Agony, which is also just a dot that stacks up and does more damage the longer it's up for, so make sure it doesn't fall off. There's also two cooldown dots that I'll refer to, the first one being Phantom Singularity, which is our talent here, and secondly Soul Rot, which comes from the Night Fae Covenant class ability. This is also, I mean, if you're not Night Fae, then just replace Soul Rot in the rotation with whatever your class Covenant ability is, but Soul Rot is definitely just the best one by far, and if you want to be at all competitive in PvP, you really should be Night Fae. But anyways, these are the two cooldown dots, Soul Rot and Phantom Singularity here. That's our main damage spells. We also have Drain Life over here, which in synergy with the Inevitable Demise talent that you take is actually very good when it stacks up to 50, and it also works in synergy with Soul Rot Spread. You can do it like a multi-Drain Life. So that's our main damage abilities. Shadow Bolt, you can basically unbind and never press ever. It does no damage, and it's not worth it to put up Shadowy Embrace, so don't worry about that. Your main damage abilities, just to summarize, are the 5 dots, UA, Corruption, Agony, and the 2 cooldown ones, Phantom Singularity and Soul Rot. So on top of that, once you have those dots up, what you want to do is spam Malefic Rapture, which is the new Shadowlands spender, and the only real spender we have apart from Rapid Contagion. And basically you just press this when you have a bunch of dots up. The more dots up you have, the more damage it does. Malefic Rapture hits everyone in LOS within a 100-yard range, so you can port away really far away and press this, and it hits everyone who has dots on them. Does not work out of LOS though, so make sure that when you're casting this, as it finishes, make sure people are in your line, otherwise you're just going to be wasting your soul shard and, well, doing nothing with it. Okay, so that being said, let's look at our cooldowns. First one is Dark Soul Misery, which is the talent you take. Just a 30% haste buff, basically makes your dots tick faster, makes you cast faster. You do a lot of damage with this up, so make sure you use this when you're trying to burst. And secondly, we have Rapid Contagion, which is a new PvP talent and another soul shard spender. Makes your dots just basically tick 30% more often. There is no snapshotting with this, which means that you can put up your dots first and then press this, and all your dots which are already up will just start ticking faster. So there's it's not really complicated to use. Basically just use it when you have full shards, or if you're kicked or something, because it's not in the Shadow School. And if people are LOSing you, then it's a good time to press that as well. And the last cooldown we have is Summon Dark Glare, and what this does is it extends all your dots on enemy targets by 8 seconds, and just shoots anyone with dots on them. This is really good because it actually extends Soul Rot and Phantom Singularity's dots, which are our cooldown dots and hardest hitting ones. So you really want to make sure before you press this that you have Phantom Singularity and Soul Rot up on your targets to maximize the value out of the Dark Glare. Okay, so now that's all the spells we have for dealing damage. I'm gonna show you what the ideal thing is to do in Arena. At the start of every game, you need to Corruption every single target. Well, the players at least. So put up 3 Corruptions first. Corruption is important because of Sacrilash, the legendary, it slows them, so you get that little bit of control and slows them down. They just they can't move, basically, with this snare on them. It's really oppressive. So make sure you press Corruption first, and then secondly, ideally in a perfect situation, you want to cast UA on all of them, as such, and then Agony last. This is your bread and butter. Your main goal throughout the whole game is to maintain these 3 dots at a reasonable duration, never letting any of them fall off. This is because when you Malefic Rapture, you hit everyone in your LOS, right? So you want to make sure that everyone has a full row of dots and enough duration so that when you are casting the Raptures, you're getting the full value out of the shards you're spending. So in Arena, a lot of times you won't be able to just cast like this UA on 3 targets, and it really doesn't matter too much to do it like this. For example, a lot of games in Arena, I might go in and just corruption everything, and then just agony until kicks are out of the way, and just bait kicks while I have 2 dots up at least. So that way, while I'm baiting the kicks, if I get kicked, at least I have 2 dots rolling, and I'm not basically just doing 0 damage trying to get my UAs out first. But in a perfect world, you do want to put up UA first after corruption, and just so that you can't have your dots get dispelled, but obviously that's not always possible in PvP. But anyway, the main point I'm trying to make is that you want these 3 dots at healthy durations at all times. And once you've done that, once you're ready to burst, what you want to do is first cast Soul Rot into Phantom Singularity, and then press all your modifiers such as Dark Soul, Rapid Contagion, and Dark Glare. The reason why you cast Soul Rot first before Phantom Singularity is because you want to press those 2 together so that you can milk the value out of the Malefic Raptures. If you, for example, if you Phantom Singularity and then you get CC'd on your Soul Rot and you can't get it off, your Malefic Rapture is missing that 1 dot effect, and it kind of breaks up your burst rotation. So you wanna cast the Soul Rot first, to make sure, because it's got a cast time, it's harder to get off than a Phantom Singularity. You want to make sure you cast that one first, after your 3 dots, and then go into the Phantom Singularity, because you won't get stopped that way. So I'm just gonna show you real quick. Once you have your 3 dots up, pretend these are 3 arena targets, and then you Soul Rot into Phantom Singularity, Dark Soul, Dark Glare, Contagion, and then Rapture spam. And then the last thing you want to do is, when you drain life someone, it also drain lives anyone with Soul Rot on them. So you do not drain your main target, drain something else, like this, and then you get a double value drain like this. That's what you do, and aside from that, just keep Rapture spamming, but making sure that your dots never fall off. You never really want to Rapture unless you have 3 dots on 3 targets, unless you're trying to burst it to, unless you're trying to just burst like immediately. For a perfect like DPS rotation, you want to have 4 dots on 3 targets and then press Rapture like this. So it's very simple to do damage on an Affliction Warlock in PvP, to be honest. The hard part comes in getting your casts out pretty often and consistently. Another thing I want to mention is that I typically like to keep Soul Rot and Phantom Singularity casted together. So Phantom Singularity is a 45-second cooldown, whereas Soul Rot is a minute cooldown. I like to wait until Soul Rot is up before I use them together, and the reason for that again is because Malefic Rapture does more damage based on how many dots you have up. So I pull my shards and then I dump like this together, and that's the most efficient way to deal damage. Okay, so this is going to be a arena game showing how I do my DPS. So first of all, you want to put up Corruption first as a priority, and then cast UA into an Agony. And just in this particular game, I saw the priest was in the middle of the map, so I switched to him. But as you can see, how you burst is you Soul Rot first into Phantom Singularity, and then you pop all your modifiers, Badge, Dark Glare, Rapid Contagion. It doesn't really matter which order you press these in, by the way. The main important thing is that you Dark Soul before you press Rapid Contagion, Rapture, or Dark Glare. The reason for that is the haste reduces the GCD on those spells, so you get the sequence out faster. So remember, Dark Soul first, and then whether you Rapid Contagion first or Dark Glare first is a little bit up to you and what is happening in the game. It's generally a good idea to Dark Glare first if any dots are going to fall off, just so that you can extend them by 8 seconds, as Dark Glare does, and get that Malefic Rapture value. So in this situation, I've got all my dots up on the priest, I've popped all my modifiers, and then I'm going to start casting Raptures, and the enemy team is just entirely melting because of this. Right now, it's perfect. Everyone in the map is in my LOS. This guy's got 5 dots, both DPS have 3 dots, and this is literally Rapture Heaven. So try to look for situations like this as much as possible. They can't stop me either because I'm so far away. And basically just Malefic Rapture until you're out of shards, and then dump your drain lives. And unfortunately, I was on the healing meter, but as you can see, the entire enemy team melted, and I was doing 6k DPS at this point. If I had it on the damage meter, I probably would have been closer to 7k. So hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Remember, to summarize real quick, how you do it is you put up all your 3 dots first on as many targets as possible, Soul Rod into Phantom Singularity, and then dump all your cooldowns, Dark Soul first to get the haste modifier, and then Rapture spam until you're out of shards, and then drain life, and preferably drain lifing someone who does not have Soul Rot on them so you can get a multiple drain life off. Hopefully this was helpful. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.